Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's exciting show that we have lined up for you. We'll just let that go through its motions. This was a clock I inherited from my mum and dad, and every time it goes off I think of them and I love it. It's a genuine grandfather clock with all the bings and bongs that go with it. Fantastic. Well, as you can see tonight, we have young Bernie with us. Famous for being a station master, a bus driver, a biker, amongst many other things. And now we're going to talk about a few of those with him this evening. You may notice that a certain American is obvious by his absence. Well, sadly, Jeff has been driving like crazy today to get some miles in. He's just left North Carolina and he's going through Virginia. He is hopefully going to find somewhere to park. He's going to find somewhere to get connected, and his lovely smiling face will appear here soon. But in the meantime, you've got me and you've got Bernie, and we have a special guest coming in later on this evening with a bit of an update. I'll tell you more about that later. So, Bernie, how are you, sir?
Well, as you can see, Tuesdays is a busy day. I barely get the chance to get home, have something to eat, do my evening video chat with Oscar, and I still don't get a chance to change out a uniform.
And you are in the uniform of the Kent and East Sussex Railway, I take it. Tell us a bit more for those who don't know.
This is my station master's uniform, Kent and East Sussex Railway. Today, I have been the station master down at Bodgham Station, where I usually to be found. We had some fun this morning.
What happened? Do tell me.
The first down train got as far as the Northern, which is the next station up the line, and the loco decided he wanted to sit down for half hour. So he probably locked his brakes on, and that was it. So they had to call the fitter out to sort them out.
Oh.
And in the meantime, I got a coachload of people in to get on the train, plus all the other passengers. I had to entertain about 70 people for 40 minutes before the train got here.
Oh, wow. That's the thing about a preserved railway. I mean, things like that can happen, can't they?
They do. Oh, yes. And unfortunately, they happen with amazing frequency. But I got rescued just in time. The train came just before I was almost forced to go on and do a song and dance act.
Now, Bernie has agreed to do that song and dance act for us live on video this evening, haven't you, Bernie? Did you see the little worry on that man's face right there?
No, I was just thinking of a suitable response, and the response was, I'm not sure which Bernie you're talking about, but it's not me.
So it must be a different Bernie. Is there another Bernie in the room, perhaps? Maybe not. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me the greatest of pleasure and the greatest of honor to press this button right here, like that. Yo!
You couldn't keep me away. I mean, I'm here to haunt you guys.
Good man. And that's the best news I've had all day. How did it go, Jeff? All right, Jeff just driven 6,000 miles. He needs to drink his orange juice. Tell us all about your day.
It's been a day, boy, but I'm here.
Excellent. I did apologise in advance in your absence for the sketchiness of answering the comments over there. We've got quite a few people in already. Hello, Roland. I saw you came in. Andrew's here. Ryan's joined us this evening. Last week's guest. Hello, Ryan. Great to have you around. Roland from Germany. We've got Mark's Adventures in tonight. And there's probably more, but I can't see them. But anyway, go on.
Can I just say something very quickly?
Please do.
Dave, the Wandering Ponderer, is in.
Is he?
Yeah. Now, I hope you're having a good holiday down in Bournemouth, Dave. If you want to go for some of the best fish and chips you've ever tasted, get on a bus, go across to Westbourne, and go into Shave Fred's. You ask anybody around the Bournemouth area and they'll tell you Shave Fred's is the place to go. But get there early, because otherwise you could spend half an hour just queuing to get a seat in there.
Ooh. Is it a sit-down?
It really is the best fish and chips that you might ever taste.
Never did. Well, I tell you what, it's got some way to go. I'm jumping the gun a little bit here, but I went to Hereford on my challenge, and there was a fish and chip shop there called Oceans, run by a Welshman. But I mean, we can forgive him for that.
Nothing wrong with Welshman.
he was in the valleys. In the valleys. He's a lovely man, so he is. Anyway, long story short, this guy can turn in a mean fish and chips. He cooks in lard, proper fish and chip lard.
Proper lard, brilliant
properly. Stuff. Oh my God, I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. It was like being a child again. I haven't had that flavour since the Woke Brigade took over and made it like fat or some other horrible oil they cook in.
I don't know about fish and chips, but I can tell you he sent me pictures a little while ago of them going to an ice cream shop, and it was pretty spectacular.
Wow, that's good. I like ice cream shops. I might need to go there. So
Andrew says hello, Jeff. Hi, Andrew. I hope you get to join us tonight. Mark's Adventures says hello. And here I am. So
here we all are. Yes, tonight we're also going to be welcoming the wonderful Andrew Norris later on, who's going to tell us a bit about his tadpoles.
Yes, we need it up.
You might want to be sitting down, and oopsie daisy, where did Jeff go? You might want to be sitting down for this one, and you also might want to have a box of tissues. But that's all I'm saying.
Talking of Jeff, I've got something to show you.
Oh, look, what's this?
Oh, a 60 hour.
Nice.
It's in my uniform.
That's pretty sweet.
I'm still wearing it every time I go to work as a station master.
I have one on today. My chain is here, but I took it off to put it in the case when I got home earlier. So I've not got it on. It's in the box behind me. But that was 999B that I was wearing today.
I haven't had the chance to take my uniform off yet, so that won't go into a case till later.
Got to say, it looks damn fine on a railway uniform, doesn't it, Jeff?
It does. It fits. That watch was supposed to be there.
Look at that. Oh, now that's how you wear a fob watch.
And me whistle.
And your whistle.
How slick is that?
And a knife.
And a knife as well. Look at that. Wow.
There you go.
Excellent. What an excellent outfit that is. I bet you get asked about that a lot. Do people, when you get your watch out, they say, "What's that then?"
People do talk about the watch. They ask for it, and I'm very happy to explain it, where it came from, what the history of it is.
That's it. That's the only trouble with these watches. Every time you get them out, someone's it's like this one. This is a Simca, and we've had it repaired recently. And as you can see, it's actually a converted pocket watch. It's a 16 size pocket watch on a strap. They solder a bar across the bottom, and they have a special thing that converts the bow into a strap holder, and you got a watch. So everybody, because it's on your wrist and it's quite large, and everybody sees it, and then they say, "What's that?" So then you have to explain how in the First World War men didn't wear it; they wore them in their pocket because to put it on your wrist was effeminate, and how. But you tell the whole story, and then they come home with them all on their wrist, and suddenly everybody wants to wear a watch, and that's how we came about wristwatches. So you know that the minute you hear, "Oh, that's interesting," what's that? 10 minutes of your life have just been given away. You don't realise it yet, but you're about to give away 10 minutes because that's how long it takes to explain all about these watches. But I love doing it. I do not tire of telling people about these because they're genuinely interesting. And
Jackie says, "I do beg your pardon, Jeff. Did I say something wrong? Did I?
She spelt your name wrong, first of all, Jeff.
Oh, hello, Jeff and Bree. Okay. I forgive you, yes. Yeah, it's the American spelling of Jeff.
Sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Do you like that Albert style of chain that you have, Bernie?
This is the one that I got given by Gabe.
Yes.
Did I what? Do I like it?
Yes. Do you like that style of chain?
Yes, I do like this style of chain. I'm not used to the golden color. My Albert chain is a solid sterling silver one, which I had with my previous pocket watches. But this came with this watch. It's the right color. It suits me fine.
Oh, wow.
Alison O'Brien has made a request.
Oh, really?
If you'll kindly cover your ears for 2 seconds.
Oh, right, you all are. Ladies and gentlemen, loud sound incoming. There you go.
Well, I don't want to give away any secrets or nothing, but we actually have a couple of those really nice Albert chains. And somebody that we all know is going to get a pretty amazing gift on Thursday.
Yes.
I've actually got 2 silver Albert chains. I got one that was my granddad's.
Yeah.
And I've got another. I don't know where I got the other one from. Can't remember, to be honest with you. Oh, I think it was in that. It was probably my dad's, because I found it in his stuff when my mum died.
I'll let you into a secret. That's not a very well kept secret. I am a lover of silver over gold every single time. I just like silver. It's more. I think the thing I like about these watches is every workman had one. And that's kind of the link into that for me is important, because they were ordinary people. History's always about the people with the gold watches. I'm interested with the people in the silver watches.
The ordinary ones, yeah.
You know, it's but yeah, I just love them. I love the fact that something that old is sitting in my hand, keeping better time than a modern chronometer. I mean, that is a lovely feeling.
Cool thing about the railroad watches was the only people that could have them were railroad people that were required to carry them, engineers and doctors.
No one else was allowed to buy them, which I didn't know until about 3 or 4 weeks ago when Jeff told me that. I didn't know it. Yes. Anyway, have we got how many people have we got in the room, Jeff? There seems to be lots of comments going through.
We got 17.
See, you're pulling them in, Bernie. You're pulling them in. You're an attraction, sir.
Don't blame me for that. I'd like to think they were coming in because it's your channel, not because I'm here. I was the one that puts people off, let alone anything else.
Oh, I don't know about that. So, tell us a little bit about the Kent and East Sussex Railway, what it is, where it is, and how can people come and see you on it?
Cool. I've got to try and think. Well, the main thing is it was the first railway that was completed, not the first railway that was begun, but the first railway that was completed under the auspices of the 1896 Light Railway Act.
Okay.
Which said provided you kept your track to a certain gauge and your locomotives didn't travel more than a certain speed, you could build a railway without a parliamentary act.
Yeah.
And the gentleman called Lieutenant Colonel Holman Fred Stevens, known as Holly to his friends, ended up building or running or managing a network of 17 of these lines all over the country, narrow gauge and everything else, including the Western, Clevedon and Portishead Railway.
Which is over my way.
Which is over your way. Yeah. So this opened in 1900 and my station opened also at the same time. And the outside of the station building is still the same building that was there in 1900.
Wow.
We've altered the inside a bit, but the outside is still original. And it opened between Robertsbridge and Rovenden, which is what they called Tenterton at the time, and then they built it up the 1 in 50 gradient up to Tenterton town.
Yeah,
and it did also go beyond that to Headcorn. It never got took over by the Big Four. It remained an independent railway till 1948.
Did it really?
And when it took over by British Railways, excuse me, and it finally closed with the last hop pickers trains in about 1961. We spent 11 years, I think it was, fighting the government and with legal action here and there to actually get permission to reopen part of the railway, which we did in 1974.
Because it wasn't fashionable back then, was it, to preserve railways like it is nowadays?
No, not really. No. So we reopened between Tenderton and Rotherham in 1974, Widdisham Road in 1981, Northiam in 1990, because Annika Rice helped build the second platform as part of her Challenge Annika.
Oh, did she wear that little jumpsuit she wore in the helicopter?
If you want a drool, yes, she did.
Ooh, I used to love that.
Then we reopened as far as my station in 2000.
Right.
So in must be 2 weeks' time now, 1st and 2nd of June, we are having our 50th anniversary of reopening celebrations.
Oh, it's my birthday too.
Now we have got a transport and works order and we can rebuild to Robertsbridge.
Yes, now you've started on that, haven't you?
There is a section already built between Robertsbridge Junction and North Bridge Street, and work is underway to do the last bit. You've travelled on the bit that went from our end to Junction Road. They're filling in the missing link.
I'll come back down and ride it when it joins up.
You'll have to. They're saying 2027, but we're hoping for late 2026. But one of the big attractions on the 1st and 2nd of June is the large locomotive Britannia.
Oh, you got Britannia on the line. Oh,
Britannia is not on our line. Not on our line. It's coming to Robertsbridge. It's too big for our line. It's coming to Robertsbridge.
Yeah.
Where it will be operating shuttle trains to North Bridge Street, and also will be on the turntable, because they've rebuilt the Hither Green turntable at Robertsbridge, and it will be demonstrating the turntable. And there will be a vintage bus service between Robertsbridge and Bodrum Station, and special tickets will be available.
And of course,
so you will actually be able to come by train on that weekend, by Network Rail train to Robertsbridge, and then walk across the Robertsbridge Junction, get your tickets, unless you do it in advance, and you can spend the day going up and down to Kent and East Sussex.
Yeah, in Britannia.
We are in East Sussex, and you'll find us on the map quite easily. Just look for Tenterton and you'll see the railway on there.
See, that for me would be a joyous weekend. I love Britannia. Those who don't know, Britannia was the last steam locomotive built for British Rail. And how many years service did she have?
Didn't have very many.
Wasn't very many, because they went diesel very short. In fact, they were developing their diesel fleets and their diesel electrics as she was being built at Crewe. Am I right? Was it Crewe?
I'm not sure where that one was built. It probably was.
I think it was Crewe. I'm prepared to stand corrected, but I'm no expert.
You guys fought against diesels, because Churchill famously said in one of his speeches, England is plentiful with coal, but we lack diesel.
Following that logic, yeah.
Ryan says, please say hello to me. Hello, Ryan.
Hey, Ryan. Hello again. How you doing, buddy? If you missed last week's show, it's available. Go and watch Ryan. Ryan is a local epic hero we have here in town. He does so much stuff, and turns out he's a pretty good gardener too. We will be having him on the show, and I bumped into the guy who runs the garden that we saw him in, and we talked about gardening, and we talked about my knowledge of gardening. You could actually write on a postage stamp and still have room left to lick the stamp. So he said, well, why don't you come down to the garden and I'll show you some gardening? So that's a possibility. I'm probably going to take him up on that and maybe film my stupidity in all things green. Talking of which, I was also challenged. If you watch the Beltane video, which incidentally over 14,000 of you have now, I think.
Hey, that's not bad.
It's not bad, is it? I wish they all did that. I'd be laughing. Anyway, if you did watch that, you'll have seen a lady on stilts with like a tree on her back walking around. She challenged me the other day to say that she can teach anybody to stilt walk in an afternoon. Now, I would love to learn a skill like that, so I took her up on her challenge. So at some point, there's going to be a film of me breaking a leg, probably, or doing something like that. Anyway, I like a challenge, and she issued it, so I had to accept it. Right, now, if nobody minds, I'm going to crack on because otherwise we're just going to sit here talking and talking and talking, and nobody's going to see any.
I better catch up on the comments real quick before you move on to the next. We have Tracy Murphy with us tonight.
Hey, Tracy.
Hello, Tracy. Anybody else I missed?
Jackie Witt says, happy birthday, Gabriel, for June 1st. It's also my birthday on Thursday.
Thursday.
I was coming to that. I was going to come to that. Yes. Yes, Jeff is having his birthday on Thursday the 23rd.
He's 21.
He's 21 and 3/4. 21 and 3/4. I read Adrian Mull. My birthday on the 2nd of June is quite significant because I turn of an age on the 2nd of June where my state pension becomes payable. So there you go. There's an announcement. That's that. Moving on. Anything else in the comments, Jeff? It's lovely to see all these wonderful people joining us.
We have Alison O'Brien. I'm not sure I said hello to her yet. And we still have the Wandering Ponderer with us. And I'm hoping very much that he has a very, very nice holiday. Because him and his lovely little wife, they deserve it very much.
Yeah. Absolutely. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, I'm just going to move on because I want to cover off something that I did that's pertinent to the channel, and that's the There and Back challenge. Our last challenge was to go to Hereford and back. Now, some of you who've seen the film will know that I successfully went to Hereford. It was a challenge that we took up, and I was looking forward to because there was something else specific I wanted to see in Hereford. Now, I've made a film of it, but to show you a film tonight, it took me ages to do. I had to condense that film down into 4 minutes. How can you condense this down? Hereford Cathedral is stunning. It is got some of the best stained glass. The people in there are lovely. You pay by donation if you want to go in. None of this £15 like Wells Cathedral's doing. And the people working in that cathedral could not be more friendly if they tried. But anyway, I just want to show you a condensed version of the video that is online about how good Hereford is. And if I press this button here, it will do it. Back to another There and Back in a Day challenge. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we made it to Bristol, and once we got to Bristol, we got to Temple Meads. We got on this, the 10:57 to Newport. Here we are in Newport Station. As you can see, it's quite a construction here, isn't it?
Like something in the Star Trek.
There's the train. But which one of those destinations are we heading for? And so, we are on a train out of Newport, heading that way. And I can tell you that today's destination is Hereford. And not just Hereford, but we've got to go and see the Mappa Mundi. Well, as you can see behind me, I've made it to Hereford. One of the overarching impressions I will take away of this cathedral is the sheer scale and beauty of its never-ending stained glass. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you the other reason I've come here to Hereford Cathedral today, because I wanted to see this. It's the SAS Memorial Window here in Hereford Cathedral, dedicated to the brave men of the Special Air Service, of those who've gone before and of those who will come. We salute you for your bravery. Thank you. Two candles, ladies and gentlemen. One for my mum and dad, one for Jeff's. Rest in peace, guys. The Mappa Mundi is the largest medieval map to still exist. It isn't so much a map of the world, as many believe, as it is a religious rather than literal depiction, featuring heaven and hell, and the path to salvation. Interestingly, east is at the top of the map rather than north, and even to this day, when we set a map up so that we can read it, we are orientating the map. The chain library here holds around 1,500 books, and these date from the 15th to the early 19th century, although it has around 56 books published before 1500. Many of the books in the library collection date back to about 1100. The oldest, the Hereford Gospels, is actually written in Saxon and dates back to 780. Here we are. We've completed the challenge almost. We've still got to get home today, but I've come to Hereford Cathedral. I've bought a Mappa Mundi. Part of my challenge was to buy a Mappa Mundi, which I will put up in the studio when I get home. So the task now is to get home from here in Hereford back to Glastonbury. We need a train to Bristol and a bus from Bristol to home, and we've cracked it. As you can see, with Bristol Temple Meads behind me, we've made it back as far as Bristol. And there you go. Challenge complete. And to prove I went there and it wasn't all done in AI, here, ladies and gentlemen, is the Mappa Mundi that I purchased on the day. How about that? I'm going to get this framed and put it up on the wall because it's actually quite an interesting thing. But Hereford is good. I'm going back to Hereford because that cathedral does tower tours. And you know me, if there's a tower or something tall, I'm up it. So I'm going to be going back to go up the tower, and because I want an excuse to go back to the best damn fish and chip shop I have ever been to in my life. Oh, no.
We have somebody new with us tonight, Rookwood. I've never seen them here before. Welcome. So I want to be sure and say hi to them. And Michael White just popped in and said hello to everyone.
Hi, Michael. Excellent.
And Jackie says, happy birthday, Jeff, for Thursday. And my sister Geraldine's birthday is on Friday.
Yo. Excellent. It's a good time to have a birthday because it's in the summer. I don't think I'd want a birthday in the winter. Would you? When's your birthday, Bernie?
Oh, mine been gone. Is that April?
April. Oh, well, that's spring. That's all right.
No, because Jackie took me to Bournemouth to see Jethro Tull, if you remember.
She did for your birthday, of course. Yes. I remember. Yes.
That was
we've got our guest coming in soon, and I would really like to I've just got to do something. Glasses. Look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, I no longer look for my glasses. They're strapped to my head at all times, which is brilliant. Here we go. Now then, there, Andrew, I've just sent you the link. Now, we have unfinished business because that was our latest challenge. We have another challenge on the way. And earlier on, we selected randomly from our list of challenges. By the way, we need some more. So if you've got any ideas, do feel free to send them in the comments below. You can call us. I think sure. Let me just check. The phone is turned on. Yes, you can call us if you want. But just come up with some ideas. But if you can come up with an idea, can you bring it with something to do? Like that Hereford one was brilliant because I had to go to Hereford and buy a Mappamundi. We got something to do.
That was an amazing cathedral. I can't even imagine the thousands and thousands and thousands of hours that went into those stained glass windows.
It's stunning. It's stunning. And the air around the SAS one, I can only just say it's charged.
I don't think it's been put out in public yet, but I donated an SAS compass to the museum in Coggeshall.
Did you? An SAS compass. Nicely done. Wow. Excellent. I'm just going to move on. Have you got a photograph of it, Jeff? Anywhere?
No, but I'll bet if we asked the Ponderer really nice, we could talk him into
sending a picture.
Going and filming it.
Maybe
them
doing
putting
a
it
film.
in the
What? Yes.
in the, collection because they already have it. They actually got it a long time ago, but the museum wasn't open, so.
Cool. Oh yes, Dave, if you're there, can you please go make a film because that sounds interesting. Getting back to this because I want to get it out the way because I've got someone waiting in the green room who would like to join us, and I don't want to keep him there. In fact, I'm not going to because it's rude. Here he is. Hello, young man. How lovely to see you. Excellent.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Anybody who's not met this fine man before, this is Mr Andrew Norris, artist of this parish. Well, actually, artist of another parish, but hey, you know what I mean. So, anyway, getting back to the thing, we've got a list here drawn from our destinations of random places, numbered 1 to 6. Plymouth, Gloucester, Swindon, Warwick, Stratford-on-Avon, there, and Bournemouth. Now, as I said, some of these don't have challenges with them, so I've come up with them. So this is what we'll do. If it's Plymouth, I'm going to go to the Mayfair Steps where the people who started America left the country. Kind of act as we have an American with us. So I thought that'd be good. Gloucester has got a beautiful cathedral and the docks are fascinating. If it's Swindon, well, then it's railways, because as Bernie reminded me a while ago when I said how boring Swindon was, actually it's not. It's the heart of GWR operations. Some would say God's wonderful railway. As a lover of the S&D, I would argue that point, but that's another story.
Other people would call it the Great Way Round.
The Great Way Round, yes. So there's a museum there, and that would be fascinating to go to. Warwick, obviously, there's only one thing to do if you go to Warwick. You've got to go to the castle. It's amazing. And then Stratford-on-Avon, well, there was a bloke who lived there that everybody's interested in, and I think his ex-missus has got an old house there. There's stuff you can go and see in there. And Bournemouth, because one of them was a beach. It wasn't Bournemouth itself. It was just a beach. And I thought, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to Bournemouth in a day because that makes it a decent challenge. Nobody wants to go to Weston-super-Mare. It's just over there. So I thought, make it more interesting. We'll go to Bournemouth. And what am I going to do when I go to Bournemouth? Well, I'm going to go and see the squirrels. If you know Bournemouth, where the pier joins the land, there's a long linear park which follows the course of a river. And it's the best way to walk into town from the seafront. It is stuffed to the gunnels, or should I say to the treetops, with tame squirrels that will sit on your knee, sit on your shoulder, sit on your hand. So if that one comes up, I'm going to go buy me a big bag of nuts, and I'm going to go to Bournemouth and feed the squirrels. So there you go. They're the 6 choices. So I have.
We've been working really hard to get him a goat, because for his garden, his back garden. Because the little 2 meter by 2 meter place he has it back, he can't muster the strength to go and hack down the brambles. So we've been working on getting him a goat so he'd have a little goat friend, but no one's come up with a goat thus far.
No one's playing ball with us. Anyway, let's just get this out of the way because I want to talk to young Andrew here. here is a dice. And to make things a bit clearer, I have put a second camera. Let's see if I can get this to work. Will it work? Please work. Oh, yeah. And it's a 6.
It's a 6.
Woo!
So
Okay, let's go and see what. Let's go and see what a 6 is. Oh, it's Bournemouth. We're going to the beach to feed the squirrels. I'm going to order up some. Well, I'll be darned. Hey, don't we know someone else who's in Bournemouth?
Dave Mundy.
No, but one of the people that faithfully watches Bernie's show, Carrie, she lives where you went, where the film we just saw, the cathedral.
In Hereford.
No, Kerry is on holiday. She lives in Howsham, which is near me, 9 miles from me, but she's been on holiday in that area, and that she recommended the cathedral. Jackie lives near Bournemouth. She lives in Poole, just along the coast from there.
Of course, yeah. Poole, just round the corner. Yes.
And of course, the Wandering Ponderer is in Bournemouth at the moment as well.
Isn't he just? Well, Andrew, welcome to the show. You've had a bit of a week of it, haven't you, sir?
It's been quite an eventful week, yes. Shall I talk about the video that I sent you?
Yes, please do.
Well, for some of your viewers, and Bernie in particular, and Jeff, I mean, you're very well up to date. I've been recording it's been a 3-year project so far to restore the last dew pond in my village in Croatia. And last year, there were a lot of tadpoles in the pond, but the water was evaporating and seeping through the mud. So I put a bowl down to help some of the tadpoles which were there to complete their gestation period. And it takes about 9 to 12 weeks for them to complete that. Sadly, they didn't quite make it. And so late last year, I got a huge piece of nylon to line the pool with, and in the hope that the tadpoles would be able to complete their gestation period. And about 3 weeks ago, I managed to film 3 or 4 tadpoles in the pond. Now, some of your viewers might wonder, why would I care about such a thing? Well, for me, it's important because in the village where I've been living for about 20 years now, we have lost all the kind of natural sound, a lot of the natural sounds, not all, a lot of the natural sounds, particularly the sound of cows lowing. When we moved there were 4 families around us that had cows. Now there isn't a single cow at our end of the village. There are birds, you can hear bird song, but people used to, when they took their cattle to pasture, they would sing. And I have an account from some neighbors when they were children, the sound of singing coming along the track from one valley to the next. It was magical. And so that sound has gone. The sound of cars rumbling over the pontoon bridge, that is gone because we've got a new bridge. And the sound of the frogs was the last sound, which I thought, here is an opportunity to try and preserve that as an authentic sound of the village. Now, I was there a couple of days ago, and to clear it out a little bit, because it was a bit congested with leaves, and I saw a snake in the pond, and here it is. Here is a video of the snake. I disturb it, and then it just kind of swims off. I don't know if it is still there, and I don't know whether it has kind of munched all the tadpoles that were there, which for me is a real tragedy if it has. But nature needs one needs to let nature take its course. But if I can inhibit it in some way, in a small way, just to let the frogs complete their gestation period, and that we get to hear the sound of the frogs again. This is the last dew pond left in the village. They've all been filled in because no one has cattle to take to the dew pond. And luckily, my wonderful neighbor, Torna, he's fully behind me on this project. He's helped me line it, and his cousin had a JCB digger so we could restore the dew pond to its original shape. Because when the people who were laying the road about 10, 12 years ago, they had extra aggregates and they just shoved it into the pond and filled up a third of it. So I got this JCB digger to clear it out, to restore it to the original shape and size. But it's all touch and go, Gabe. All touch and go.
Oh, I hope so. Do we know what sort of snake that was? It looked very green and yellowy to me.
Actually, I don't. You know, I've identified most of the snakes that I've seen, and I've even filmed one just slithering along the edge of the house. Luckily, it didn't go into the front door because the front door was open, but just continued along. There are several snakes. We do have adders, which are poisonous and can be quite dangerous. But there is another one called Cravosis, which is a snake which apparently latches onto the udders of cows to drink the milk. This one is not poisonous, and I've seen that quite fairly regularly in the fields. But the postcock, the adder, I've only seen really on the other side of the river. We have a fantastic river separating our settlement from the neighbouring settlement, and I've only seen the adder on the other side of the river.
I saw an adder once when I was quite young. We had friends when I lived in Somerset. We had friends who lived not far from here, about 12 miles from where I'm sitting now, in a place called South Cadbury near Sparkford, where the Haynes manuals were originally made. And we were in their garage one day, and the guy whose house it was said, "Don't move." So there were several of us there, and we all kind of sort of looked at him. He said, "Don't move, stand still." And he kind of gestured, and we looked down, and there was this snake, and it had like a red flash on its back, which apparently I've since found out is how you spot it's an adder. There's this like red marking on it. If you see that, be careful. So we all stood still, and it just slithered through, came in, went through, went out. But yeah, quite a moment. Quite a moment. And of course, Jeff lives where everything wants to kill you.
Oh yeah, we got bears, wolves. We have rattlesnakes. I got bit for 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago by a spider.
Yeah. Well, my sister in Dorset, she has a farm in Dorset, and she
go ahead, Andrew.
Yeah.
You're breaking.
Hunter says, Jeff, the museum is open on Sunday. I will go and I will film.
Good man.
Patricia says, punch a squirrel for me, Gabriel.
Punch a squirrel.
Rusty Pig says, Pool is the home of RNLI.
My sister has a farm.
Hang on, Andrew, I think we're having a bit of trouble with your sound. Can you start what you were saying again, please? Oh, hello. I think we've lost Andrew. Hopefully he's going to come back. If you can hear me, Andrew, I'm watching for you for coming back. Anyway, Jeff, you were saying?
Rusty Pig says that Pool is the home of RNLI.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
The Royal National Lifeboat Institute.
Yeah, there's plenty to do down there. I remember I went down. I've just been elected as a town councillor, because I was a town councillor here in Glastonbury for 4 years, 2015, 2019. And I was elected for the Green Party. They approached me and said, would you stand as a councillor? And I thought, well, I don't mind doing that. So I stood as a councillor. But there was a Green Party conference, the annual conference. I mean, all the parties do one. But it was in Bournemouth. So we all went down, and I got so bored. I shouldn't say it, but I got so bored that I went to the park and discovered these squirrels. And so I went up into the town. There's a Holland and Barrett, and I was buying big bags of stuff and disappearing. And in all the time I should have been sort of hobnobbing with all the high and mighty of the Green Party, I was out there feeding the squirrels for 2 days. So that's what I'm going to go back and do. But yeah, Bournemouth's turned into a city since. I mean, I went in the hot summer of 1976. We had a really hot summer here, and I went with my friend Paul Bennett, and we stayed in a bed and breakfast for 2 weeks over in Westbourne, funnily enough. But then we walked to get to the beach. We walked down this shine. I can't think what it's called. But anyway, that's where we stayed, and so I had fond memories of it. But then I went back. When I went back this last time, would have been about 2015, 2016. It's turned into a city with skyscrapers, and you know, we saw a picture earlier on. It would look like you were in New York. The only way Jeff could tell was the shopping trolley was wrong. Other than that, it looked like being in New York. So it's going to be interesting to see what I find when I get down there.
I hope we didn't lose Andrew for good.
No, I think we've got him back. Hello, Andrew.
No.
Andrew's back.
Yeah, no worries.
So you were trying to tell us something and it all went a bit because you fell off. Go ahead and start again.
No, it's just remember my sister who has a farm in Dorset. She had a sand pit just outside the kitchen where the children used to play, and she one year she lifted up the lid, covering the sand, and there were about 3 adders inside the sand pit.
That's nesting.
Could have been very dangerous.
Ooh,
nesting. Yeah.
Good gracious me! Because you do get them down south. They like that sort of sandy terrain, and down south, sort of Bournemouth way along there, you do actually get quite a lot of them. So I've been told. Anyway,
Michael Wade says, Bernie, can you get a goat the next time you go to Wales?
Bring back a Welsh goat.
A goat for Gabriel.
Yes, it needs to be called me van, we see, because if it's from Wales, it needs to sound Welsh, basically.
Well, Mavanwee's probably a bit too beautiful a name for a goat. How about Blodwin?
I don't know. Tell that to the goat.
How about Blodwin?
Blodwin. Well, there's a good name, isn't it? Blodwin.
Butter says we went to Sandbanks yesterday. What a wonderful beach. He sent me pictures. It is beautiful.
Yeah. And each house there is worth the GDR of a small country. It's Millionaires Row Sandbanks, isn't it?
I think there's a school of thought that will say it was, because I was reading not so long ago, and I can't remember the place. There's a place in Devon that is now taking over from Sandbanks, and I can't remember for the life of me where it is.
I'll tell you where it isn't. Totnes. No chance.
Totnes, no,
no chance to Totnes.
Now, Jackie and I, a couple of years ago, we went over to Swanage on the Sandbanks ferry on the bus.
Yeah.
We came back and we set a record for travelling from Sandbanks through the centre of Poole and out to Upton near where she lives. It took us practically 2 hours because they decided to do some roadworks, and it was on the only road that actually goes in and out of Sandbanks. You can imagine the absolute chaos. Nearly 2 hours to do a journey that should have took about 40 minutes.
Yeah, and all those chauffeur-driven cars all lined up in the queue.
Yeah. Right.
Listen,
Jackie.
Mostly what we saw was very scantily clad teenagers of both sexes getting on and off the bus because they'd been to the beach all day and needed to go home before their parents told them off.
Yeah. Jeff, what are you going to say, mate?
Jackie says, I love your chiming clock. Tell everybody about your clock.
Yeah, as I was saying, this is my grandfather clock. It was left to me by my parents in their will. And I recently took a drive up to North Wales to get my bits and pieces out, and that's come home. And what's remarkable is I brought it home on my own in this van. I didn't drop it. I didn't break it. I managed to get it upstairs. I didn't drop it and I didn't break it. More on that later. And then what's more, I got it up. I got it set up. I put the weights in it, the pendulum in it, put it all together, did all the things I had to do. And it keeps accurate time. It's very accurate, incredibly so. As you can see, the weights are at the bottom at the moment. I need to wind it up. But it's absolutely beautiful. And every time it chimes, I think of my mum and dad. So it's great. I love it in here. It's just makes this room. The only thing, and the beautiful thing about it is, if I'm recording voiceovers on videos, it's got a little switch on it. You can just slide it down, and it cuts out the chimes. And it's got the chimes. Hang on, let me go and have a look. It's got 3 different chimes on it.
You've got now nearly 2 hours to do a journey that should have took about 40 minutes.
Yeah, and all those chauffeur-driven cars all lined up in the queue.
Yeah.
I want to know, Bernie, in your illustrious bus driving career.
Was very scantily clad teenager. I'm getting some feedback at the moment. Beach all day, and they had to go before their parents told them.
Can anyone hear that, or is it just me?
No, I can hear it, Jay. The sound is about 5 minutes out.
Yeah, as I was saying, this is my grandfather.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologise for this. I do not have a clue what's going on. Is it stopped?
To me by my parents in their will, get my bits and pieces out, and that's it home on my own in this van. I didn't drop it. I didn't break it.
There's nothing
I managed
running.
to get it upstairs. I didn't drop it. I didn't break it. More on that later. And then what's more, I got it up. I
don't even know where that's coming from. I can't see where it's.
Put it all together. Did all the things I had to do, and it keeps accurate time.
Oh, what's this going? No.
Very accurate.
Has that stopped it? Hello. Yes.
Yeah,
that's
right.
stopped. I don't know what the hell that is doing. I'm really sorry about that. There's a new one. What I was going to say was, before we talked about the clock, was
the basic videos. It's got a little switch on it. You can just slide it down, and it cuts out the chimes. And it's got the chimes. Hang on, let me go and have a look. It's got 3 different chimes on it.
I haven't got a clue. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna kill myself.
A journey that should have took about 40 minutes.
Yeah, and all
Jeff's got no sound. His sound has been muted. Can you hear me, Andrew?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Jeff at the moment has got no sound.
You got no sound, Jeff?
His microphone is mute. That's better.
Oh, I thought it might be me, so I muted my mic. Bernie, in your illustrious bus driving career, did you ever drive one of those amazing old Route Masters?
I didn't drive a Route Master. I didn't work for London Transport. And we didn't have any of those type of buses down where we were. We had several bus drivers who came from London that drove Route Masters. Being a provincial company, our double decker with the front was the Leyland PD2. But the Route Masters, you see, had semi-automatic gearboxes. I actually learnt to drive. In a Leyland PD2 double-decker bus with a semi-crash gearbox.
Yeah.
I learned to drive with it.
Yeah.
I came with no driving experience at all. And it was back in the days when we were so desperate for bus drivers, the government used to pay companies a grant to train people. Wow. And they pay for so many hours. So, yes, I actually got taught to drive in a double-decker bus with a crash gearbox.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, later on, we went to the rear engine buses with the automatic.
Go on, Andrew. Try again. You're breaking up a bit.
A large lorry into the space where he was going to have it serviced, and I was admiring how well he maneuvered it. Now I've got a little car. It's my first car, and I don't know how to do reverse, and I'm nervous about the spaces that I drive in, and I was amazed.
No, Andrew's breaking up a bit.
Andrew's breaking up. We'll try you in a minute, Andrew.
I must just answer. Ian McCagan has asked me a question. He said, did I ever drive over Stopham Bridge? I never drove over the old one, Ian, but I've driven coaches several times over the new one.
Yeah.
That's the answer to that question.
Are you back with us, Andrew?
I didn't leave, but
no, your signal's coming and going a bit.
Yeah, it's are you am I with you now?
You are. Yes. Try again.
Okay, I was just saying that I saw this chap earlier today who was maneuvering a huge lorry in awkward space, and he negotiated all the obstacles in his way, and I was so impressed by that. I've got a little Polo, a little Polo. It's my first car, and I don't even know how to do reverse to get out of a situation, but I was so impressed by his skill at driving and judging spaces, and I don't have that.
They are brilliant when you see them doing it, especially these semi drivers like Jeff, and they just pull up, throw it in reverse, and back the bloody
Exactly,
thing into
yeah,
a gap
yeah.
2 inches wider than their trailer. I got nothing but admiration.
And me too as well.
We're coming
2
on.
million miles. I haven't killed anybody yet.
Not yet. Plenty of time. There is a film that I particularly want to show that was sent to us by Bernie, in fact. And this is something I think you're going to find this interesting, guys. I've learnt something tonight. Thank you, Bernie. Here it comes.
And finally, before I go home, I might have mentioned to you before Paul McCartney's recording studio. Well, there it is. Bit of a closer look at it for you. Like I said, I'm not sure whether he still uses it as such, but certainly did at one time. There we go. Well, Mr McCartney certainly knows an unusual building when he sees one. You'll notice the fantail on top of the mill there. Now, this is a typical post mill, and there are still quite a few examples around the country, but not with fantails on the roof. This is one of only two left in the UK, and this is the only one that you'll be able to see. It wasn't even built here. It was built in Pett in 1781 and moved here 9 years later. It finished being an actual working mill in 1920. I'm not really sure what's happened to it after that, but eventually Mr McCartney got his hands on it, and as you can see, he's done a pretty good job on converting it. I'm pretty sure he still uses it as his recording studio. There's far too much work done on it for him not to now. But it's certainly a very unique building, and unless you actually know where you're going, you won't be able to get this close to it. And with that,
Well
time
then,
for me to go.
Wrong button. I just learned something when I saw that tonight. Who knew? Paul McCartney had a windmill for a recording studio. I mean, I know he had a lot of air, but that's impressive. And like you say, it's quite unusual because those fantails are normally angled back away from the roof, aren't they? That's unusual.
On a post mill, you mostly find the fantails at the bottom.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them were moved round the post on a set of rails.
That's it.
And the fantail was based at the end of a boom that came down from the bottom of the post, and the miller would actually turn that into the wind.
Yeah. So what have you changed to say? What have you got coming up, Andrew? Anything exciting happening over there?
I'm going back to the village on Thursday to check on the vegetable garden and hoping that finally my parsnips might be coming up. If not, then I've got a tray here of seedlings which are starting to sprout. Parsnips is not a vegetable widely known here. So I do like to grow them. And the first year we did it about 10 years ago, we had a fantastic crop. And that was when my lovely neighbor Torna, he plowed the field for us, and he had a deep plow to get really down into the soil. But subsequent to that, we have a multi-cultivator, which only goes down about 15, 20 centimeters, if that. And it's really not quite enough, because on the subsequent years where we have had parsnips, they look bizarre. They look like they should be in some science fiction. Lots of not one lovely long root, but lots of individual roots. So
you should put eyes on them.
yeah.
Do you know, my dad.
I follow Richard Suggett's his.
Sorry.
I follow Richard Suggett and his
never worked with
Sunday
children,
evening.
Animals, and Gabriel's grandfather clock.
Sorry about
Richard
that.
Suggett's gardening show on a Sunday evening, and I've discussed it with him about the best way to try and get parsnips, to germinate and to grow. So I'm optimistic for this year.
Did you know that he was a semi-professional kickboxer?
Who?
Richard Suggett, Mr. Suggett. He was a semi-pro kickboxer.
I had no idea.
I never knew that.
I will treat him with more respect.
He's some quiet one.
He was known to be good. He was a good fighter. I mean, he won fights.
Well, I'm very surprised to hear that, but I'm delighted that he can defend himself if necessary.
Because if those rascally carrots jump up and have a go, he needs to be ready.
Absolutely, yeah. Get bombarded with potatoes.
You, Mr. Rabbit, out of my garden.
We've done an hour.
Ian McCagan says that Richard was a kickboxer.
Sorry?
Ian McCagan has written in the chat that Richard was a kickboxer.
Oh.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Mind you often find I've known a couple of professional boxers, and they're really quiet, gentle types until they go into like boxer mode, and then they kind of change into it's a professional switch. But normally, the two boxers I've met were. It always reminds me that Jeff Capes, our shot putter, big bloke.
Oh, yeah.
There was a famous photograph of him holding a budgie because he collected budgies.
Did he really?
Yeah, and there's this photograph of these hands the size of what's that guy in the Marvel comics? The big guy. Hands like Hulk. Him.
Is it Hulk?
Holding this Hulk, hiding this tiny little hello, babes. This tiny little this is I'm gonna introduce the rest of the cat. There we go. That's Poppy. Yeah, and
Good night, Jackie.
Good night, Jackie. So yeah, as I was saying, an hour has gone somewhere. I don't know where, but it's been brilliant. So let's go round and see what you guys are all up to for the next week. Anything else from you, Andrew?
Not really. Just some more painting and then digging in the garden.
Well, I sincerely hope you find that the snake hasn't eaten all of the frogs.
I know. But also, I took a picture. I've been following the progress of is one meadow at the end of the village where there are lizard orchids. Now, this is a rare orchid, and a couple of years ago, I found 24 growing. I've been visiting this meadow every year and charting the progress of this particular lizard orchid. And when I was there last week, I photographed a new group of 5 growing. They're really quite large at the moment. I can send you a picture later. I will be back next week. And hopefully they will be in their mature stage. They are really stunning. And
orchids.
Yeah, wild ones. Yeah, rather than
hot ones. But she loved her orchids. I think one of her, that and daffodils were her favourite flowers.
Daffodils as well. I have a collection of about 26 different daffodils in my meadow.
Oh, she'd have loved you. She'd have loved you.
Well, Jackie is saying good night, so I better chime in here and say good night, Jackie. It was wonderful having you with us.
Perfect. Lovely to see you, Jackie. Sorry I didn't get to talk to everybody tonight. But know that I'm glad you're here. So, Bernie, what about you? What's your week ahead got in store for it? Because it's your show next week. Bernie, if you don't know, has a show on a alternate Wednesday night.
Alternate Wednesdays to yours, yeah.
So if we have one, you know that Bernie's is the following week on a Wednesday. It's easy to remember that way. So
I got some more editing to do because next Monday I will be publishing the video a trip on the Great Orme Tramway in Llandudno.
Oh, I've been on that. It's a stunner. You go up on the tramway and down on the cable car.
Well, I didn't. The cable cars weren't operating. They never seem to when I'm up there. So I had got. But I've always wanted a trip up and down on the tramway, so I've done that.
Good.
I suppose, I'm hoping to get out on Saturday morning if the weather's nice. I should be up early again, like I was when I was filming the McCartney studio.
Yeah,
I was over in the Rye area at 5 o'clock on a Saturday morning to start filming that. And I shall need to be out early again this Saturday if the weather's nice. But I'm a bit closer to home this time. I've got 2 or 3. Some of the Sussex villages a bit closer to me that I haven't touched yet. So I've still got quite a bit of filming to do. And I suppose also I ought to start considering what I'm going to film next in the Model Railway series. I wish I hadn't done that. I wish I hadn't done that spoof unboxing now, because that started something.
Yes, that was good.
Tracy Murphy is saying good night. Thank you, Jeff, Gabriel, Bernie, and Andrew. Good night, everybody.
Lovely,
good night, Tracy.
Lovely to have you here tonight.
Lovely, Tracy.
So, Jeff, what about you? What's your week ahead got planned?
I'm going to Massachusetts. Put the kettle on, everybody. I'll be by later. After that, I couldn't tell you. I'm going to have a horrible time getting to Massachusetts when they think they want me there, but that's another story.
Yeah. Watch out, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, because there might just be a little live broadcast on the 23rd to celebrate somebody's birthday. If I can pull it off on a phone, because I'm not going to be here. But if I can pull it off on a phone, I will have a little live broadcast with Jeff to say hello on your birthday. So if you're around, look for that sometime on Thursday. So yeah, me, I've got I've got a challenge to film. I've got to go back to London
for you.
Sorry?
The squirrels are waiting for you. Take the bag.
They're there. They're hungry. They're saying, "Where is he already?" I've got to go to London because Pocket Watch was fixed and it stopped working, so it's been back to Mohammed, our watchmaker. So I've got to go and pick that up. And when I'm up there, I thought it would be a good idea to try out one of the city's electric bike hires. You know, the ones you pick up and cycle and forget. I thought, I've used the scooters in Bristol. They're cool. I like them. And I thought, well, let's go to London. I've lived in London, but on the outskirts. I grew up on the outskirts. I've never cycled in London, ever. So I thought, yeah, now's a good time to try it. So I'm going to go up, pick my watch up, and I'm going to go and pick one of these bikes up and film myself getting run over by a taxi or something. I don't know what's going to happen, but it should be fun. So I'm looking forward to that.
Right.
And we've got some other things to do. So don't forget, everybody, next week it's Bernie. I'm sure we'll have Andrew bringing us up to date again. I really do hope so, because I pray there's something left in your pond to mature. I really do, because I was really hoping forward to the noise being recorded and sent through to us.
Yeah. Barry West was here tonight. I didn't see him until just now. Hello, Barry.
Folks, I'm going to have to say good night, I'm afraid. Bit embarrassing, but water tablets take no prisoners.
Absolute, Bernie, it's been a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you on your show next week.
Thanks for having me, and good night, everyone. Night, Andrew. Good night, Jeff.
Good night.
But if you know what I mean.
Goodbye.
Bye.
And then there were 3. So yeah, Jeff, do you want to kind of say what's going on and say good night to everybody in the chat room?
Yeah, Barry West was here tonight. I didn't realize it. He said happy birthday, Jeff.
Hey Barry, personal against Western Supermare. I just wanted a beach that was a bit more of a challenge. Carry on.
Allison said good night from me and my guinea pigs.
Oh, I love guinea pigs. Are they the ones with the little rosettes in the fur? Because we had those when I was a kid. And the fur was like in rosettes. It's weird where they grew. But anyway, carry on.
Anyway, we better wrap this up tonight. Andrew, it was wonderful having you here tonight. I realize that you are the busiest person on the planet. But I hope that we get to do this again because it was a lot of fun.
I can always make time for the good things.
Excellent. No, and we hope, speaking of which, your parcel turns up.
Yeah, I went to the post office today and I showed them the number that was, your parcel number, but I have to wait until they come and deliver a ticket with their particular number before I can go to the post office. But it says it's been delivered, but delivered some central postal office. So I will inform you straight away when it comes.
When it arrives. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, Andrew, thank you for joining us. It's been absolutely fantastic. Look forward to seeing you again. Jeff, well, what can I say? Jeff, you're a star. Thank you, buddy. And we'll see you again.
Okay, gentlemen.
Bye, everybody.
To see you. Gabe, Jeff, so much.
Bye-bye. And thank you, everybody who's commented or said anything or talked to anybody or done anything on the show tonight. I just want to say thank you all very much. That's me. I'm over. I'm out. I'm gone. Bye-bye.